Hello everyone, getting to know plants class 6 part 2. So far we have discussed about plants, the different types of plants, and we have discussed the stem part of the plant. Today we will learn more about the other parts of the plant, mainly focusing in this session about leaf as well as root. So first we will discuss and learn more about leaf. Now, what is leaf? Leaf, we can simply say leaf as the green and the flattened structure that is present on the stem, right? The leaves are mainly the lateral and mainly they are green in color, and their structure is almost flattened and appears to be borne on the stem node. Stem node means the part from where the point from where the leaves are actually originating. Okay, so plants mainly have two parts. One is the root system and the other is the shoot system. So leaves and stem together form the shoot system. Root system we will learn a little bit later. Got? Now the most important part that takes place in photosynthesis is leaf. We all know photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is simply a process by which the plants prepare their own food with the help of mainly three, that is sunlight, and sunlight, water and carbon dioxide. Okay, so these leaves act as a kitchen. We can refer the leaves as a kitchen of plant because it is where the food for the plants are being made. And these leaves have a green pigment which colors this which particularly give these leaves the green color. That pigment is called chlorophyll. This chlorophyll actually helps the leaves to use the sunlight. Okay, so if there is no leaf means there will not be any photosynthesis, there will not be any food, and the plants becomes weaker. Okay, now there are mainly three parts of the leaves. Okay, the first and the part that we are more visible, that which is more visible to us, is the lamina, which is the flattened portion of the leaves. That is the major part. When we see of leaf, we are mainly seeing that lamina part. Okay, so it can be of any shapes. Leaves can be of any shapes. Okay, and that is our first part, lamina. Second part is petiole. Petiole means it is a flexible part and kind of hold lamina of the leaf. Okay, so here we can see here in this picture which is the petiole and which is the lamina. Okay, so the third part is the leaf base. Okay, so which is the where the leaf part is originating from the stem. Okay, so mainly three parts are there: lamina, petiole and the leaf base. Okay, so when we closely inspect this leaf, we can actually see a small lines that are present on the leaves, or that are present on lamina. Okay, so these are called veins. Veins are small lines that are present on the lamina of the leaf. Okay, so what are the functions of this vein? These veins gives support and transport water and minerals through the leaf. Okay, so veins actually act as a medium through which this water and minerals are being transported to all parts of the leaves. Okay, so the centermost and the thick vein of the leaf is called the midrib. Okay, so veins, the main purpose of veins is to transport food and water and minerals, and also it somewhat like act as a skeleton to the plant. Okay, so and the thick vein in the middle of the leaf is also called as midrib. Now we have discussed about vein. Vein means simply the lines that are present on the leaves. When we closely check these leaves, we can see that veins are mainly arranged in two manner. Okay, so the design made by the veins are in two different manner, and that design is called venation. Or venation is the arrangement of veins in the lamina of leaf. Okay, mainly two types of venation are there: reticulate venation and there is parallel venation. Here we can see reticulate venation. Here veins are irregularly arranged. Irregular, there is no regular or proper order in the arrangement of veins, and it forms a network. There is no definite pattern. Okay, such leaves can be seen in the case of rose, hibiscus and all. The second one, as we can see here, is the parallel venation. Here all the veins are they run parallel to each other in a lamina. Okay, they are aligned and have a specific design. Okay, and properly designed, properly arranged. Okay, and they run parallel to each other in lamina. Examples are banana, bamboo, cereals and grains. So mainly the veins are the lines that are present on the leaves, and venation is the simply called as the arrangement of these veins. Mainly two types are there: reticulate and parallel. Parallel, as the word indicate, the veins are arranged parallel and the specific design is there. Whereas reticulate venation, the veins are not arranged, they are irregularly arranged and forms a network. Okay, now leaves, we have said leaves, the parts of leaves and the veins and all. Now what are the functions of leaves? Okay, so leaves mainly, one we have already discussed, what is the photosynthesis, and the other one is transpiration. Okay, so first thing, photosynthesis, we will recall it again. Photosynthesis is simply a process in which plants produce their own food. Okay, so leaf is the main area. Leaf is the area where the plants produce food. Okay, so mainly they need carbon dioxide, the sunlight and water for this photosynthesis process. Okay, so photosynthesis is the process of preparation of food in the presence of carbon dioxide, water and sunlight. And the plants actually produces this food as a glucose, and they mainly store this as starch. We have already come across the word starch in our components of food chapter, right? We have touched the presence of starch and all. Starch is a type of carbohydrates. Okay, so actually the food prepared by the plants is stored as starch. Okay, we can detect this presence of starch using that iodine solution experiment. Okay, now the first help by the plants is photosynthesis. Okay, the second one is transpiration. Okay, before that, photosynthesis, we know plants intake carbon dioxide while photosynthesis and release, or they breathe out oxygen during the photosynthesis process. Now the second process is transpiration. Okay, before transpiration we have to be familiar with the term stomata. Okay, stomata are tiny pores that are present on leaves on lamina. Okay, so tiny pores, very small pores which we cannot observe using our naked eye, which can only be seen using microscope. Okay, these stomata are extremely tiny in size and that are present on lamina. Okay, these are holes, as I mentioned, tiny pores, and this through these holes, through these pores, there uh, there happens gaseous exchange. Okay, I already mentioned, during photosynthesis carbon dioxide is taken in and oxygen is released. Okay, all this exchange of gases or the gaseous exchange is being taking place through this stomata. Carbon dioxide is entering through this stomata and oxygen is also leaving through this stomata. Okay, that is one purpose of stomata. We haven't discussed yet about transpiration. Second thing, we have already said we need water. The plants need water for photosynthesis. What if like there have excess water, so they have to remove this excess water from their plant body, right? So transpiration is simply a process in which they remove or lose this excess water into the atmosphere by the process of evaporation. Now you have already come across the term evaporation in the separation of substances chapter. Simply the water, excess water in the plants is being released to the atmosphere in the form of water vapor. That is transpiration. Okay, so leaves have stomata. This stomata helps in gaseous exchange of during photosynthesis as well as transpiration, that is loss of excess water which are released in atmosphere by evaporation. Okay, so these are the mainly two functions of photosynthesis. Here we can see here this tiny droplets of water which we can see on the leaves is actually due to because of this process transpiration. Okay, transpiration too have other helps also. It helps us to suck the water from the root, and it helps in suction force. It produces suction force such that water actually get transported from root to shoot and other parts of the plants. Now we have discussed about leaf. Okay, now the other part we have discussed about stem and leaf. Now we will move on to our next part, which is our root. Okay, now root is mainly mostly seen as an organ of plant which lies below the soil. Okay, usually the roots are at underground. There is some exceptions. Okay, so mainly the root is a mostly seen as an organ of plant which typically lies below the surface of soil. Now, functions of root. Root mainly helps in the absorption of water and minerals from soil. Actually, soil contains many nutrients and many minerals which are necessary for these plants, and this root helps in absorbing that nutrients and passes to the stem, and the stem will transport it to all parts of the plant. Okay, now second thing, root helps in holding the plants firmly in the soil. That is, they provide proper anchorage to the plant parts. That means how tightly the plants are being held in the soil, that roots helps for that. Okay, so mainly root helps in the absorption of minerals and water from the soil, and also they hold the plants firmly in the soil, so that if a strong wind and all comes means the plant do not get fall down. Okay, so mainly there are two types of root system, tap root and fibrous root. Here in this picture itself we can find out the differences here also. Taproot, the carrot and all is given as an example of taproot. Okay, taproot means it will have it is formed by single primary root and its branches, like the branches coming out from the primary one, as we can see here. A carrot is the main root, or the main root is also called as a taproot, and certain small branches are being coming out of that. Okay, that are called lateral roots. Example is carrot is there, radish is there, mustard is there, and all are examples of taproot. Taproot means formed by, there will be a single main root which itself is called taproot, and there will be tiny branches coming out from that main root which is called the lateral root. Okay, second one, fibrous root. As the figure itself shows, they do not have a main or a primary root or a taproot and all. They are formed by several fine roots that are arising from the stem base. There will be fine roots that will be coming out at the base of the stem. There will not be any primary root. There doesn't exist any main root or primary root. All the roots are coming from the base of the stem. Okay, examples of fibrous root are wheat is there, beans, peas, and all are examples of fibrous root. Okay, no main root, all the roots are of the same size. Now in the case of taproot, actually they go very deep in the soil because there is a one main root is there, so they dig very deep into the soil. Okay, now important point to be noted is that if the plant leaves are having a parallel venation, the root of such plants will be fibrous, and if the venation of the plant leaf is reticulate, root will be fibrous. Okay, that is an important thing you have to note. If plants has leaves with reticulate venation, it will have a taproot, and plants with fibrous root have parallel venation in their leaves. Okay, so in this session we have learned about leaves, the parts of leaves, functions of leaves, root, the functions of roots, and the types of fruits. Okay, so in the next session we will be discussing about the flower part, yet another beautiful and an important part of the plant. Thank you.